I'm Arlen Glick, and I run for Craft Sportswear. I am registered for the 2025 Run Rabbit Run 100, and I'm excited to be competing this year. So my running journey kind of began back at a time when I cared so little about it. I was just your local hobby jogger, um, quite literally just put a pair of shoes on, or maybe even it was sandals at the time, and had no aspirations of doing it in a competitive way, or for sure not in a professional way. And yeah, things have progressed. I've been in the sport a long time now at this point, so I think a lot of people would know my backstory. I think a more exciting note to point probably would be kind of where things are at, where I found out about a year and a half ago that I had been running with a torn ACL pretty much my whole career. So I ran the Cocodona 250 back in May of last year. And so I had surgery scheduled for 2 weeks after the race. So I'm really excited for Run Rabbit Run. It's my first race back. It'll be, I think, about 16 months between Cocodona and Run Rabbit Run. So I am very excited to be putting a bib number on. It's a little scary, but I'm excited for it. I think if we back up a little bit and look at my career leading up to it, so obviously runners don't use their ACL a lot.
Right.
It kind of stabilizes the knee. Towards the end, it was getting to the point where I could start to feel it on technical terrain. And the biggest drawback for me was I was doing a lot of the stabilizing with my right leg. It was a left knee tear, so I was overworking right leg like big time. So it was very intimidating getting that fixed because I knew I was going to make my bad leg a lot worse
Mhm.
for a time being. So kind of things where things are at now is that I'm definitely feeling the stability of having that ACL in there. But yeah, it's been challenging building the strength back. But I think we are better off now than we were before surgery, and that's pretty exciting actually. Yeah, I think I feel it, but I find confidence in, when we look at as you say, legacy runners that have been here for years and
Right.
have been performing so well. Like some of them have come and gone, but there are still your staples. Like the best athletes back in 2020 are still some of the best today. Although we have a lot of newcomers, I believe the perks to the sport right now, I don't think we've ever had a more exciting era. It's not like we have just new athletes. We recognize athletes a lot deeper in the field than we used to, and I think that's the biggest change. I think when you look at the sport from a broader perspective, and you see those that have been around for a long time, the Jeff Brownings and those who have thrown up good results their whole career. That's the fun and exciting thing. While we have a lot of flashy athletes coming into the sport now, I think the ultra running space is a and trail running is it's a safe place. I think it's a place where you can thrive and enjoy wherever you're at. I assumed you were going to ask this question, why Run Rabbit Run? This is the third time back. And frankly, it's probably one of the most exciting answers for me to give because there's so many different ways you could look at it. I think just off the top of my head, I believe this is the first time I've towed the same start line 3 times. So that's going to be really exciting. I've done a lot of races twice, but none of them 3 times. So I'm excited for that. Also, like it's delivering on a promise too. Um, as you probably know, if you've been around Run Rabbit Run much, the race directors are basically just comedians with a backstory in law. But they yeah so the premium that they offer, the first person to the top of the gondola, was my idea back in the day, and I tossed the idea to him, and Fred looked at me and he said, we'll do it if you'll come back and compete. And we shook on. I was a little hesitant, but I shook on it. And then, of course, things didn't go the way I wanted, and I found out I needed surgery and whatever. So I showed up last year and was just to support a friend. But I did definitely intend on returning, and so I'm there to deliver on my promises. And also, like, there's been a an ongoing joke between me and the race directors that, like, hey, I got second and third. There's only one place on the podium left, so, like, why not, come back and give it another try? Yeah. So my thoughts on the chorus are very in depth because, yeah, this is my third time back. I've done it twice. And I think, to partially answer an earlier question about why Run Rabbit Run, I will say it is probably the most elusive course that I've found so far. And the reason why, there is a very mysterious carnage that happens at Run Rabbit Run. Like, every time I've competed there, I've had major problems, from going blind one time to falling, collapsing my lungs, knocking the wind out of me, to getting spun around, running the wrong direction on course. Just about everything that could go wrong has gone wrong in just my two incidences running there. And it's amazing because I tell competitors every year, like, that Run Rabbit Run, while Western States and so many of these races, as the sport progresses, we keep saying people aren't blowing up like they used to. Like, it's getting, the field's getting so stacked, they're not making the stupid mistakes they have before. But for some reason at Run Rabbit Run, it's completely different. And the carnage never fails. I've blown up and had a horrible race twice in a row, but I've never lost placement during that blow up. Mm-hmm. So the last 30 miles has always gone extremely bad for me. And yet I've always maintained my position. So that tells me that blowing up is kind of in style at that race. So that's what keeps drawing me back, is this mysterious carnage that we have no answers for. Like, yes, it's high, there's altitude. Yes, the course is tough, but it's not as tough as some. And there's no good answer as to why it's so bad there. But that's what I'm there for, is to figure this out. Oh yeah, looking at the field, and I try not to dive into it too deep. I haven't looked at it for a bit now, but I mean, obviously, there's some that I can't help but notice. Obviously, the other craft athletes are the ones I'm probably the most excited to race. Tommy Sullivan is he's kind of flies under the radar, but I know that guy, and he is so good and so fast. So he is definitely going to make a show on race day. There's no doubt in my mind. And of course, Grant Barnett. He's a great guy, a young guy. You can tell he is very hungry. And then of course, Mary Denholm. I think everybody probably knows that she is a a very heavy hitter, and definitely has talent. Um, yeah, from above. And yeah, it's going to be fun to just see. Yeah, like, I'm obviously the most excited to race my teammates, essentially. But the list goes on forever. Like, Matt Daniels is an amazing athlete. I saw he was on the list. Don't know him well, but I know what he can do. So that's that's exciting. Yeah, and we could go on all day, yeah, talking about the athletes on the list. It's so exciting. As previously mentioned, Paul and Fred are amazing guys. They put on an amazing race, and it is a very unique. They are very unique individuals, in a good way. It would it would take a couple comedians to basically run a charity race, put it all on for nothing, and then basically just give all the money away just to make it interesting, and because of their vision for the sport. There is, as much as you alluded to, we have to be in it for more than the money. We can't just chase money, because at the end of the day, when it's dark out there in the middle of the night, you completely forget about the fact that there's money on the line. But from a bigger perspective, when I'm at home, I know that prize money is a big motivation, not just for my earnings, but also for the sport in general. So that is one thing that has drawn me back here, is because I continue to want to show up and to show respect for race directors that are going to offer prize money. Because, like, as an athlete that went way too long without sponsorship, I know how hard it is to train, to work a full time job, to do that kind of thing without that support. And so I think that probably there are very few people that appreciate prize money more than me, not so much just for my earnings, but for giving those athletes a chance at earning something. I know at Run Rabbit Run, it never fails. We always get the newcomers there. We always get the people who have their breakouts there, the people that nobody knew about. And all of a sudden they can rise to that level and shine and have a place where they get recognized. And I think that prize money is a beautiful thing. I think it should become a standard thing. I don't think we should have to rely on sponsorship. I think that prize money is a very legit way of earning our way in the sport, getting some, should we say, instant gratification in a sport where instant gratification does not come very often. Usually we train and work extremely hard and never know if we're going to get anything for it. So I think it's a beautiful thing. I That is one reason why I keep coming back, is to support this cause. I want to show people that whatever talent I have, I'm willing to throw it at this race for that reason. Oh, when I cross the finish line, I never know what I'm gonna want. Possibly a sip of Coke, uh, but probably, like, in my perfect world, if I'm not uh, freezing to death, because usually I'm like wrapped in a sleeping bag or something, because my as soon as my effort drops, my body temperature usually drops too, and so I'm trying to get warm usually. But in a perfect race, I think a cup of coffee would be like the ideal post race indulgence. So historically, I don't very often at all listen to music, but who knows? I've learned at Run Rabbit Run, both times I ran the last 30 miles with my phone, and it proved to be essential to my safety and finishing the race. So if I have it along, maybe, who knows? I might just pull out the earbuds and play something while while I'm at it. if I could if I could define myself as, as being the way I want the world to see me, I would want them to see me for the truth and for being, authentic. I think more than anything else, I want to be real with people. I want, at the end of the day, I want to be the real deal. I don't want, when people meet me, to have this idea of me that is completely different than, when they meet me in person. So I think authenticity is probably my goal and my mission.